Things that reduce abortion: livable wages, affordable/free healthcare, affordable education, sex education, and access to contraception. Things that do not reduce abortion: criminalizing abortion, and abstinence-only education. And now, the conservative response. Hello everybody, I'm your host Joel Michael. This is the Conservative Response, where I take a liberal meme and address it from a conservative point of view. Today's meme is very pink and purple, two colors that the left insist are gender neutral, but in this case, they're used to represent femininity. Femininity. There's quite a bit to digest here, so I'm going to break it down algebraically and cover each line individually. First things first, would livable wages reduce abortion? I could spend all day on this idea, but let's keep it simple. What's the number one reason women get abortions? Because they don't think they can afford to raise a kid. Does that mean that livable wages will prove the first check mark? Absolutely not. Women who make a livable wage are still not guaranteed to feel as though they can afford a child, or maybe they're pregnant with their second, third, or upwards kid, and thus, they can't afford another one, so yep, next one's gotta go. And what exactly defines a livable wage anyway? I know that in leftist speak, livable wage means to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, which any economist worth his salt is going to tell you is a terrible idea. As soon as you do that, the cost of living increases, groceries, and even your entertainment, all that, the prices will go up. And then we'll be right back to square one, except now the government's going to take more of your money out for taxes. So livable wages, no, but higher pay scales for women who have the higher education and the education and training to back it up. Yeah. If more women had that, then yes, abortion would go down. But livable wages? No. Next point, affordable/free healthcare. Why the hell would affordable healthcare affect how many abortions happen? And why not use the term low-cost healthcare? Okay, quick tangent. Leftists don't push for the lowering of healthcare costs. They don't care how big the boulder is, just so long as they're not the ones running away from it. And they don't strike me as the Indiana Jones type anyway. Okay, back to the point. I'm assuming that what they mean is with access to healthcare, that with better access to healthcare, pregnant women would be better taken care of, which means healthier babies that don't threaten the life of the mother when they come to term, and thus they don't need to be aborted, which would effectively reduce abortions by 1%. Woohoo! To be fair, though, I hear a whole bunch of conflicting accounts from both conservative and liberal talking heads about whether a baby in the womb can actually threaten the life of a mother-to-be. At the same time, though, I would understand that a liberal doctor who recommends that a woman get an abortion really would not want her to go get a second opinion from a doctor who has a reputation for being adamantly pro-life. So there's that too. Okay, on to the next one. Affordable education. This ties into the point I made before about how women in higher tax brackets, not necessarily those with fairy tale derived so-called living wages, would be less likely to have an abortion. And you know what? I would be more than happy to let this one slide, if not again, for the wording. Lower cost education. There, I fixed it for you. Every time I see the word affordable attached to a leftist meme, I think taxpayer funded. And I'm not far off. I don't know how a Democrat feels about the phrase lower cost, but I have a bad feeling that they try to claim that they're both synonymous just to piss me off. Next line. Education of the sexual nature. Yeah, school. Because that's exactly what the high school quarterback is thinking about when he's finally getting it on with the high school head of the cheerleading squad in Johnny the Duke's parents' basement and the post-prom bash. Okay, you caught me. That's anecdotal. But it's not beside the point. There's tons of sex ed in schools everywhere in the United States. You're giving teenagers way too much credit if you think that teaching them how to put a condom on a kumquat is going to prevent teenage pregnancy. They're still going to go home to fatherless houses, play GTA, and watch either Sicko Mode or God is a Woman 5 times on repeat in a row. Unchecked teenagers equals sex. Sex equals babies. It's simple math. There's your sex education for the day. Finally, access to contraception. Admittedly, I'm not up to speed on what access to contraception means in leftist speak, so I'm just going to offer a distracting idea that will make feminists forget what I just said. Anyway, the whole outrage episode about the Catholic and name companies not offering health plans that provide for subsidized Plan B pills is kind of a joke. It's as much of a joke as the women who rely on Plan B on a regular basis. If it's designed to kill off a fertilized egg that's a week old, who knows what it's going to do to the rest of your body? I don't even want to know. Okay, on to things that reportedly, assumedly, do not reduce abortions. Criminalizing abortion. But criminalizing firearm ownership is going to stop gun-related deaths? Gotcha, bitch! Of course, banning abortion will reduce the number of abortions. If it's illegal, very few doctors are going to risk their practice to provide an off-the-books abortion service. Before they even touch a knife, they're going to have to ask for huge upfront cash sums, and we just went through the whole livable wage economy inequality kerfuffle before, so we don't need to touch on that again. Let's move on. Abstinence-only education will reduce abortions. Ding, 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 ding. Finally, something we can agree on. Come on, how am I supposed to claim that any kind of sex education is going to reduce the number of abortions after the spiel that I just gave you before? And that's my reasoning, of course. What's missing from the above would reduce abortions list is the check mark next to the line, responsible men. That would definitely help. And I'm sure the liberals would agree with that too, begrudgingly. So now we're finally done with the list, and hopefully I get you to understand, I've gotten you to understand that this has generated a very passionate and meaningful discussion. But the deeper logic to the conversation evades the surface of this meme, which is, why would liberals care about reducing abortion? After all, they think it's their right to do with their offspring as they please, whether it means actually giving birth to them or sacrificing them to Molech. So let's take another look at the top list. It pretty much encompasses, however loosely, as many leftist utopian dream schemes as it possibly can. This is a mother-flippin' bargaining tool. They're leveraging the lives of their pre-born children to get what they want. It's a declaration that we'll give birth to our children and not murder them as long as you give us these things. And if the Democrats are smart, they will use abortion legislation as a bargaining tool. And if conservatives are stupid, we'll fall for it. I can imagine the people gladly giving up their guns or maybe walking over that last line towards complete socialist healthcare for the sake of banning widespread infanticide. New York has already legalized post-term abortion, and more states are sure to follow, which is why we need to take a firm stance now on this issue, and we cannot waver for the sake of our future generations. I'm Joe Michael, and this is The Conservative Response. Like and subscribe if you agree with me at least 80%. Okay, I'll take 65. Thanks for watching, and you guys, have a good night.